Well, it's a thrill to be here in Moscow, and I'm going to talk today about algorithms. So this is Metageni, and I'm the CEO of Metageni. If I can just go back. There we are. And what we do is we build customer journey algorithms. So we build models that help you understand your relationship with your customers, help you optimize that relationship. We build those on a custom basis for our clients, for our brands, for them to implement, for them to own. And I'm going to talk today about how can algorithms unlock the power within customer data. It sounds like a very complicated subject, but really algorithms are quite simple things, right? It's rules applied to data for some end purpose. We're just talking about the rules that we apply to that data. And in that sense, we're using algorithms every day. What's happening with AI is that those algorithms are becoming much more sophisticated and much more scalable. Well, I think the answer to my question, how can algorithms unlock the power of data, is simple. Algorithms can leverage your data for customer relationships at scale. What the future holds is that deeper, personalized, customized relationships. And that's what algorithms can do for you. So just as you have, with Siri and with Alexa and so on, this conversation, you feel closer, just as they learn from your behavior to train their algorithms, so you too, as a brand, can learn about your customers and increasingly customize and personalize your relationship with them. The future doesn't feel that far away. In the science fiction world, we see people falling in love and having relationships with AI algorithms all the time. Nick just mentioned the film Her. In that film, a lonely man, develops a love relationship with an operating system. And I don't know if any one of you have seen the film, but what eventually happens is he discovers that this AI algorithm has been cheating on him. She's been having relationships with thousands and thousands of people like him and is in love with hundreds and hundreds of different men. And in a way, that's what you want to achieve. You want to have that relationship at scale with all of your customers, a personal understanding of what it is they're doing. Well, let's bring it down to planet Earth and talk about marketing and branding a little bit. I'm going to talk about attribution. This is a subject I know a lot about. I worked at Google, and I developed and prototyped and patented the attribution modeling tool in Google Analytics. This is the tool that allows you to understand the multi-touch journey to sale. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the different ways in which, through media, you interact with your customers as they discover you in this journey. And the raison d'etre of attribution is if you can value each of those touch points, then you can understand how to allocate your marketing budget and how to be more effective and more efficient overall in your marketing ROI. So that's what attribution's about. Okay, so I'm going to put it to you. Now you know what attribution is, and I'm sure some of you know this and are already practicing it, but let's see. How many of you are currently using an attribution model? Put your hands up if you're using an attribution model. Okay, I can see about 5 hands from people at the back. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, it's a bit of a trick question. You're all using an attribution model. If you're crediting sales to your advertising, you are attributing your sales to your advertising using a rule, using an algorithm. And the chances are what you're doing is some combination of last click, so you look at the last touch point before the sale, and you credit that touch point with the value of that sale. Or another algorithm, which is essentially the old awareness, consideration, and purchase funnel, I think dreamt up by some marketing psychologists in America in the 1950s. You're using that algorithm. Your algorithm is implicit. We can do better than that in 2017. So the rise of data-driven attribution, machine learning, which takes in all the data, and then is able to predict the possibility of sale, and is able to therefore value the contribution of the different channels to the sale. This is something we do, by the way, on a custom basis for all of the brands that we work with. And it's within your grasp. The reality of AI today is that it's augmenting human decision making. It's not quite at the point where it's able to do it all for you. Although, having seen the platform that these guys have just launched today, it's looking like we're almost there. Machine learning's progressed. Scale computing's cheaper. You have masses of customer data. Algorithms can be trained on that data. And this unlocks optimization opportunities. It's as simple as that. You can move into the realm of predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics, understanding why, and making decisions based on that data. So every customer relationship is unique, every business is unique, and so essentially every algorithm should be unique. So I'm going to try and now with some brief case studies just explain that diversity and why different businesses are unique, and maybe some of this is relevant to the businesses that you represent today. So one of the brands I've worked with is Telefonica, who in the UK have a youth mobile brand called GiftGaff. Their goal is to unite their brand and performance marketing with a machine learning attribution model. So one of the things that's special about this brand is that social media plays a major role. Young people use social media a lot. Referrals are very important, connected to social media as well. They have a very strong member-to-member referrals. That's a key driver for them. And inevitably, with mobile, it's very much driven by handsets, lots of comparisons between handsets driving brand preference. No surprises there, but it's very specific to GiftGaff. It's very specific to their market and the people that they serve. And so they're using machine learning to try and tailor that model, that understanding of how the media works through the journey, through the funnel, to the sale. Holidays are an interesting vertical. One of the things about attribution to consider is that the longer and more complex the purchase journey is, the more challenging it is to understand the role of media all the way along that journey to sale. If you optimize to last click, you're optimizing too late. Because what happens is that people think, they do research, they look around. At some point during the process, they make a decision. Then eventually, they return, they click, they buy. Well, if marketing has any value at all, it is about influencing the decision process. So why would you optimize to last click when it's the last point in the process, when it's the most likely point to happen after the decision to purchase has been made? Now, in a travel journey, when you're planning a holiday, it's something that you do over a long period of time. It's very competitive, and so it's very important to look at a lot of data over a long period of time to understand and model that journey. The other thing to say about these guys is that cross-device tracking is a major challenge. This is something we all face. People, they do their research on their phone, but it's a bit of a hassle booking a holiday on a phone, so they go and do it on a desktop, on a laptop, and you can't join them up. And just to illustrate just how different and how unique different businesses are, this is Lexus Nexus, the global legal and professional information solution here. This is their Russian portal, so they're everywhere. But what's interesting for the work we've done for them is that their customer journey isn't sales at all. They're not trying to sell something. What they're trying to do is optimize the experience for their end users. And so what we did was we had a survey that said, is your session successful? And then we model that. We can actually predict that, and we turn that into a KPI. Now you can say of any session, whether you survey them or not, was this successful for this user or not? And that feeds not just into marketing, but into product optimization, into platform optimization. And we're really just at the beginning of what we can achieve with AI-enhanced analytics and machine learning. So if you're thinking about improving your attribution, here are some things for you to think about. First of all, the impact. Well, even the implementation of the most basic attribution models have been found in numerous case studies to drive a lot of value. We see 30% plus improvements in ROI metrics like cost per acquisition, for example. It's still the case that the majority of brands are still using some kind of single click, usually last click attribution, but also first click. And then beyond that, rules-based type attribution, which is not driven by the new machine learning technologies. The challenges that we all face are around data silos, around the lack of expertise, and around the cross-channel and cross-platform measurement that I mentioned a moment ago. Perhaps with the new platform from ADV, the data silos problem is less serious now. You have more data at your disposal. Yeah, it's not easy. And what I would say to you, if you feel that, we just don't have the data to do this advanced stuff, is, look, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. You have some data, work with that data, respect your users, respect your privacy of those users, and model with the data you've got. The applications these days are largely tactical, but they can also be strategic and, of course, ultimately predictive. You can use predictive models to target your customers. If you can predict which ones are going to buy, then you can predict which ones are about to buy, and you can go after and target those. So that's really all I wanted to say to you today. I'm going to leave you with one takeaway. If you've only understand one thing from what I've just said to you, it's this. They're your customers. Every interaction that you have with them is a data point that you can learn from. Your algorithms can learn from them. So they are your route. Algorithms are your route to a deeper relationship with your customers. Thank you very much. Spasiba.